All right, here we go. My name's Jeff K, and you're listening to episode 328 of the world-famous West Virginia Surf Report podcast.
Good boy, my ass.
Almost died in a fiery crash, my friends, and I'll give you three guesses where I was at. That's right, Interstate 81. It was traveling southbound, approaching Wilkes-Barre, or Wilkes-Barre, Wilkes-Barre, ever how you want to pronounce it, Pennsylvania, heading to work, Friday, I believe. Not that it matters what day it was. But it was Friday last week, and I was just traveling along in the right lane. I was moving at the standard clip that you drive on the interstate, 65, 70. I'm in the right lane, which is that's where I like to go. I mean, I don't like riding. I don't like people that ride in the left lane. There's only two lanes on this piece of shit, this Devil's Parkway, this strip of, I don't even know. My words escape me from the anger when I think about this thing. So anyway, I like to ride in the right lane unless I'm passing, because that's the way you're supposed to drive. Unless there's somebody going like 40 miles an hour and you need to go around them. I try to stay in the right lane. I give the person in front of me a long distance. I stay far back, and that keeps you out of trouble. If you do those two things and you don't go in crazy, if you don't go 90 miles an hour and you don't ride on somebody's bumper and all this stuff, if you do that, you stay out of trouble, or for the most part. Nothing's 100%. All right. So I'm traveling along, going 65, 70, and I see this tractor trailer up ahead, and it's on the shoulder. The thing's completely on the shoulder, but it's moving. It's moving very slowly. It's creeping forward. I don't like the looks of this at all. I don't like the looks of this one bit, because you can't trust anybody at any time to do the right thing, right? So I try to get over. I check the left lane. It's packed. It's loaded with cars. I cannot get over. So I'm stuck in the right lane. There's this truck creeping along, and I'm like, I just got to zip right past it. I got to squirt through there and get past this thing. Surely he's not going to pull out in front of me, right? There's no way. I mean, he can see in these giant ass mirrors, and he's probably a professional driver, right? Am I giving these guys too much credit? So that's what I'm planning to do. I'm just going to squirt through there and hope for the best, right? Well, right when I reach the truck, he jerks it to the left and pulls the entire rig out into the lane of the interstate, of an interstate highway, going, 7 miles an hour. I don't know, like so slow. I mean, basically from a stop, He pulls the thing right out in front right when I get there. I mean, just thinking about it's like raising my blood pressure. It's like unbelievable. Does this guy have a mirror on this freaking thing, or does he even look in it? He pulls the whole rig out in front of me as I'm feet from, passing him. And I'm like, the floor of my ass nearly fell out. I mean, I almost evacuated my bowels right there in the cab of my Honda SUV. And, I slam on the brakes. I cannot get the thing stopped. There's no way. I mean, I'm right there. I'm right on the thing, and it just pulls right out in front of me. There's no way I can stop this thing in time because it's inches. And so he pulls out into the road, and I slam on my brakes, and I drive, I move the wheel to the right, and I go between the truck and the guardrail on the right, where he was previously, and I go way up past, like into the truck. I mean, I don't hit the truck, but you know what I mean? I went to the right of the truck, and way up, past where the truck is. So if I'd have just kept going, or if I'd have turned to the left and caused a multi-car accident, because there's 100 million cars on that stupid 81, like, what in the hell? My heart's racing. The adrenaline spike is like unbelievable, And I start snapping pictures of the back of the truck, and I went past him, and I was flipping him off, and he was weaving. I don't know what his deal was. It felt like at one point he was doing something to mess with me. I felt like he was messing with me. Like I went by and I was like flipping him off, and I was trying to snap pictures of the logo on the side of his door and stuff. And it was all blurry. I can't even make it out. I don't know. But, so then I go ahead. I'm like, my heart's, pounding in my chest. And, I go up, past him. And then he comes. I see him in the mirror, in my mirror. I use my mirror. I don't know why he can't use his mirror. I see him coming, and as he approaches me, he eases over into my lane. It's like he's messing with me, like he's trying to drive me off the road or something. I don't know if that was on purpose, because the guy was weaving anyway. So maybe that was just a coincidence. I don't know what was going on. But that was a scary, scary situation. And, whatever. I mean, I don't know who to call, because I can't even make out that logo. I don't know what truck line it is. I did take pictures of the back of it, his license plate and all that. I don't know. I'm just going to let it go. But that shit. I mean, I've been in hairy situations on that stupid 81 before, obviously. That one took the cake. I mean, I don't know how you can do that. I don't know how you can just pull a tractor trailer onto the interstate going 0. He was creeping along 5 miles an hour. You can't. How can you pull a truck? I mean, just think about that. That's 81. I'm not talking about some small little country road. This is one of the most used thoroughfares in the United States. It's loaded with trucks and cars, and everybody's driving at a different speed. And there's construction everywhere. It's just a mess. It's just a disaster, So anyway, that almost, I almost bought the farm. That could have been the end of me, That could have been the very end of me. If I'd have went up underneath that truck, my head would have probably snapped off. Went rolling down the embankment. They probably would have found it down there, at the back door of Five Below or whatever those stores are down there. They're somebody would come out for taking the trash out at Five Below and go, oh shit, I know that guy. I used to work with him. Anyway, that happened. Scary. That interstate sucks. I use the turnpike. It's not much better. And, I might add, it's very expensive. I saw some article the other day, and I don't know if this is true, but it says the Pennsylvania Turnpike is the most expensive toll road in the world. Not America, in the world. The Pennsylvania Turnpike. And believe me, there's nothing special about it. That thing's full of, you're riding along, things going cha-chunk, 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 cha-chunk. There's it's like a mess. It's a disaster too. But it's less, it doesn't have as much traffic on it because it costs $27 to drive to Wilkes-Barre, But sometimes I often go on that. I have that Easy Pass or whatever the hell it's called. I just drive right through. I don't even, it's like, let the chips fall where they may. If I can avoid 81 for a while, I still have to transition over when I get down to Pittston or whatever the hell, transition over to 81. So it's not like you can completely avoid it. everybody, I'm sure if I said something like that at work, somebody like, you don't have to get on 81. You can go past the Anchor. You can go up on 544 and go across, right where the giant chicken is. Turn left over there at the big cow, and the 1222. Like, fuck off. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know anything about this. I'm not going on some back roads where I don't even know where I'm at, I need to go to work, man. I don't need to be like going out for a Sunday drive. I'm getting fired up. Man, I almost lost my head. My head almost came off. I could have got up underneath the back of that truck. It would have been all over. I mean, that thing would have been halfway deep into the trailer part of it. It'd be halfway through, and the whole top would be sheared off. There'd just be a fat body sitting in there strapped to a chair. I mean, I can't have that. I mean, I don't know. Anyway. Toney told me the other day, speaking of getting fired up, one of the things she goes to the grocery store a lot. I mean, I don't know. It feels like it could be consolidated, but I don't want to criticize because I don't want to do it. Because if I criticize, she'll say, "Why don't you do it?" That's not an area I want to get into. But she goes a lot. She goes to the grocery store. It feels like 5 days a week. That's not really. I don't know. But anyway, she has a lot of grievances. About the grocery stores. And one of the things that bugs her, one of the many things that bugs her, that irritates her. She says it's a new development. I don't know. She said people like leave their cart sitting in the aisle, blocking stuff, and then they'll just leave. They'll walk a far distance. I'm not talking about leaving it there and then walking, 10 feet away. I'm talking about going to a different aisle, and going down and just leaving it there and then going off and doing some other, shopping and then bringing it back. She says this is a new development. Bugs her, bothers her, So she told me the other day, she just says this in passing, and she said when she goes into a grocery store, Wegmans particularly, she said there's these expensive like granola, energy bar type things. She said they're like $5 each. They're expensive. It's like the size of a candy bar or something. She said they're ridiculously expensive, so she grabs a handful of them, and then as she's walking through the store, and she sees somebody walk away from their cart and like disappear from their cart, she just drops a couple of those in their cart and just keeps walking, if it causes them just a small amount of aggravation at the end. These things are small enough they probably might not notice them in there, but then they get up to pay, and they got these two $5 granola bars in there. It might cause them just a slight bit of aggravation. I don't know. I guess that makes her feel better. I was like, I never heard of that. I said, I never heard of anything like this where you just like sabotage somebody's shopping cart like that. She goes, I'm working on some other things too. I have some ideas. She gets fired up. She talks about people pulling their shopping cart behind them, like they're in front and they're pulling it from. That pisses her off. That sends her off on a tangent. She gets pissed off about the music they play in there. She says, that 70s soft rock, man. That makes her murderous. She wants to start taking swings at people, just if they're playing like Carly Simon and stuff like that. 70s soft rock, that's a trigger for her. I don't know. She has a lot of grievances about the grocery store. I go in there sometimes, and people are rude. They won't get out of your way. They won't. People will stand right in your way. They know you're wanting, and then they're just like, "Screw you, buddy! I got here first." It's like, I don't know, just people are just shitty to be shitty, it feels like sometimes, they're not even shopping, they're just like standing there and they won't get out of the way. This stuff happens all the time. Something happened the other day, I couldn't believe it. I can't remember now. There's so many things. I don't know why people have to be so. I told you one time we were out for a walk. This place is bizarre. This place is like not I mean, I don't know. It's not super friendly. People are not super friendly. I mean, I don't want to be controversial here, but I lived most of my life in the South, and people are, I don't know, some people would say overly friendly. I mean, I wouldn't say that, but I've heard people say that. But and other people, more cynical people, are like, they're a bunch of fake bastards. At least they're, people up in the Northeast, they're shitty, and they don't pretend to be anything else than shitty, like they're heroes. Like, I don't know about that either. But anyway, I was walking. Tony and I were walking on this walking trail, and I was like, I would say hi to people, and they would just like look at me. It's like, what is wrong with these people? What is the matter with these people? Like when you're walking and you pass somebody, and you're going two different directions. What is the story with people? I said, I'm going to say hi to every single person. I think I told you this story before. I said, I'm going to say hi to every single person that walks by, and I'm going to force them to talk to people, talk to somebody, right? So I was walking along, and I was like, how you doing there? Beautiful day, huh? And people were like, what the, I said, so, I mean, it was like a weird, awkward thing. Tony's like, stop it, God. And I said, what's the matter? She goes, I think they think that I'm taking my big autistic brother out for a walk or something. I'm taking him out for an outing or something. I said, how dare you? So I'm just trying to be nice. And I get labeled, And anyway, that happened. People are not nice, and Tony has a very specific thing. I do too. I have specific things too that drive me frickin' crazy, and we don't, they don't line up with each other. The stuff that drives me crazy does not drive her crazy, and vice versa. She thinks I'm insane, and sometimes I think she's insane. Although I know I am sympathetic. I know how something can take hold and it'll drive you crazy. I understand that. She's not willing to do that. The stuff that she finds drives her insane, completely legitimate. The stuff that drives me insane, I'm a lunatic. I need to take it down about 5 notches, Anyway. She's like sabotage. She's like dropping expensive items in people's shopping carts in the grocery store. I love that. I may start. I don't know. I'll let her do it. Speaking of grocery stores, the other day we were out and we went to this place. I don't know. It's called Ocean. What's it called? Ocean City or Ocean State Job Lots or something. What the hell's that? It's just random words. Why they just like put a bunch of words into one of those like lottery basket, like the barrel. You turn the crank on. You just grab 4 random words. Ocean State Job Lots. I think that's what it is. It's like one of those, big lots type places, Aldi's, those type places. Except it's a little bit nicer and cleaner. And they actually have some interesting stuff in there. So we walked around in there. And they had this whole aisle of all these bizarre, like, cookies and crackers and stuff. They were from different countries and stuff. And I was looking at them. I was like, I don't know about this. I mean, I don't know. There's stuff from Australia in there. And I was like, I wouldn't mind trying these out. And I looked at the price and it's like $4.50 or something. I'm like, shit, I ain't buying that. No way. I said, you know where we need to go after this? We need to go to Aldi. How do you pronounce it? And go and check out their fraudulent cookie aisle. They have, I don't know anything about Aldi. I don't go in there very often. But every once in a while, maybe once every 3 months, I go in there and I check out their fraudulent cookies. They have all these off-brand cookies, brands I've never heard of before. But they taste exactly like the real ones. Like they have all these fake-ass Girl Scout cookies. I don't know what brands they are. I don't know what this stuff is. But all I know is it costs like it's real cheap. It costs like $1.62 or something for like a big package of these. They taste exactly like Girl Scout cookies. They have like all the big cookies brands like Fudge Stripe and they have their version, like a knockoff. fraudulent knockoff version of these cookies, and they're super cheap, and they taste exactly like the national brand, And I go in there sometimes, like I say, not often, but maybe once every 3 months, and I buy a shitload of them. And Tony's like, "Oh my God." I was in there the other day. We went in there Saturday. I said, after we went to that Ocean Village House of Cards or whatever the hell place, I said, let's go to Aldi. God, how do you pronounce it? Aldi? What kind of name is it? What is? All right. And go to their fraudulent cookies. So we went over there, and I had my arms loaded up with them. I got some knockoff pecan sandies. God, I don't know how to speak English. Is it pecan? What the hell? Aldi. What the hell's going on with me? So I got some fudge stripes. I got these knockoff. I don't know what they're called. They're like they're Girl Scout cookies, but they're like they have like coconut on them. They're chocolate and they have coconut, and I don't know. They're delicious. And I got this big package of these. They reminded me of my grandmother. My grandmother, who lived across the street from us, she always bought like off-brand cookies, but they're like store brand or something. And these looked exactly like them. I thought, oh my God, I'm getting nostalgic for these things. So I bought a big old flat of those things too. And I didn't have a shopping cart or anything. I was just like carrying these things on my arms. And then I get to pay, and there's no bags or anything. So I'm like there's people are like looking at me. This big fat guy carrying just like an armload of just cookies, just walking out to his car. And those things are fantastic. And then the younger boy is like, I can't believe you buy all these cookies, all these sweets. It's ridiculous. And then he powers through like an entire row of those fraudulents. I love the Aldi fraudulents. Man, all right, are you with me on this? I don't know anything about that store. It kind of gives me the creeps. I don't know. I don't need Arabic toothpaste. I don't need produce from. I don't know where stuff's coming from. I don't know what country. I don't know the country of origin. I don't know what this stuff is. I don't know any of these brands. Place is packed all the time, though. People love it. I don't know. Tony says it's good. All I know is the cookies. That's all I know. And I stocked up, and I'm going to have some before I go to work today. There's still some of them left. The younger boy who turns up his nose, sneers at my armloads of cookies. He ends up eating, at least half of them, and I eat the other half. So anyway, are you with me on that? Started watching some show on HBO Max, or as it's called now, Max. They changed the name because they combined with Discovery Plus, so it's HBO Max and Discovery Plus together. And they said, well, it'll be the same price until November, and then hold on to your ass. That's not exactly what they said, but that was the implication. So anyway, Max is what it's called now. I don't like that. But anyway, it's called The Last of Us. One of these post-apocalyptic / zombie shows. You familiar with this? I've watched 3 episodes. Damn good. So I'm enjoying that. So that's pretty good. It's about some guy, there's some girl on there, 14 years old. Apparently she's immune to this thing because she's been bitten by 2 of these zombie bitches. And she doesn't get the thing, so she's apparently immune to it. And so this guy's trying to get her to some kind of some kind of like camp where they can work on some kind of vaccine. So he's traveling across this great expanse, and there's all these zombies and who knows, rednecks, There's rednecks out there, like encampments and stuff, and zombies, and there's that's what it's about, basically. But it's good. It's well done. It's artistic, at least, a little bit. You watch that show? The Last of Us? The thing about that is, so far, feel like every episode is like the length of a movie. Like I watched episode 3 last night. It was an hour and 19 minutes. I guess that's not quite the length of a movie, but that's long for an episode of TV. Anyway, I'm enjoying that. I enjoy seeing that stuff. The zombies. I never watched that. What's that one? That big one. The big zombie show that went on for 20 years. Might still be on. Never saw that. Actually, I did. I saw. You know when I saw that is when I used to get Netflix in the mail in the red envelopes. I watched a season of that, I think, or half of a season. Couldn't really get into it all that much. What is it? What is that show? You know what I'm talking about. It was a big, gigantic phenomenon. Zombie show. Anyway, I'm watching that. Speaking of streaming, I wrote down all the streaming services we have. This is ridiculous. I'm kind of embarrassed by this. I don't know why I'm telling you this. It's kind of embarrassing. We have all of them almost. This is the list of the streaming services we pay for somehow. I don't know how this stuff's getting paid for. They're attached to various credit cards and bank cards, and I don't know. We have Netflix, we have HBO Max, which is now Max. We have Hulu, Peacock, Amazon, Paramount Plus, Night Flight, Apple TV, and MLB TV. We also have Discovery Plus. I mean, we had that before, and we have no idea. It might just come with our cable pack. We have cable, too. That might just come with our cable. We're unclear on that, but we have access to that, too. Sometimes we have access to some of the movie channels. I don't know how this happens. Showtime. We often have Showtime, Stars, but we don't pay for those. I mean, sometimes they're out there. And then the other day I was looking at that Criterion channel. I'm like, I want to get that one too. That thing's ridiculous. That's like the most expensive one. The thing costs like $15 a month or something. Or you can pay $99 for a year. But that thing's kicking. I might have to go through this list and weed out some of this shit. I don't think I'll watch anything. I can't remember. I don't know. I mean, the kids watch stuff, though. I mean, I watch stuff on all these. I don't know. Anyway, how many streaming services do you have? It's ridiculous. It's too many. It adds up. But they're consolidating. They're all consolidating down. It's going to be fewer, but it probably costs more. They cost more, right? And I think that's enough. I think we're at the end of this thing. I don't have any calls, so you guys need to rectify that situation. Give me a call so you can be a part of a future show. The number, 570-290-8151. Call me around the clock. Leave a message, ask a question. Add on to some of the nonsense I'm talking about. You ever almost died in a fiery crash? You ever almost have been beheaded on the interstate? Tell me about it. I need to know. 570-290. Wait a minute. 570-290-8151. Also, if you want 2 of these episodes a week instead of a measly one, you can do that too. We got it all set up for you. Head on over to Patreon. That's Patreon, patreon.com/Jeff K. Sign up for a $4 or more monthly donation, and you'll get an extra episode every week. So, if you like this podcast and you want more of it, we got you hooked up. $4 a month will do it. It's a small amount of money. For you, it's a big deal to me, and you get an extra episode every week. All right. Also, surfreportpod.com is the website for the podcast. I got expanded show notes and links and photographs, etc., etc. Surfreportpod.com at your home on the web for the podcast. And I think that'll do it. Thank you guys for listening. I do appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. Every time somebody downloads this thing, an angel gets its wings. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I think I might have that fungus, like those the brain fungus, like those The Last of Us, the brain fungus. I think I might be coming down with that. I'm not immune like that 14-year-old girl. No, I'm not. All right. This is, I mean, it's nonsense. All right, until next time, which will be over on the Patreon side for patrons only. I hope you guys have yourselves a fine day. I'll see ya. Bye. Oh shit.